Okay, so now nobody's allowed to say anything funny. I'm just kidding. Okay, so so I'm gonna just, I think everybody saw me now. Hello everybody, I'm Ian. I've been sober for so many days and all those things. Okay.
Are you sure, Ian? Are you sure?
I hope so.
KG, morning.
Morning, guys.
Okay. Just trying to see what's going.
Samantha.
So now my video's off. So today what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through. So please, just for everybody, I've just sort of opted to provide a little bit of insight into Teams. I'm not a specialist. I'm not Microsoft certified. So this is just because I use it for my projects on a daily basis. And I have found that there were quite a number of people that would come back to me and say, but how do I find this? How do I do that? And I think that's the reason why I decided to have this training. So like I said, I'm by no means an expert. I just think that because so many of us are working from home now, and we sort of embracing the whole collaborative approach, which is in the pretty much quite a lot in the Teams environment. I felt that we should just do this training. So I'm going to not go and push through a whole lot of what do you call it, PowerPoint slides, but instead what I will do is I will rather just go through Teams in a more practical way. Okay. So if there's any questions, please stop me at any time. Okay. So I will go and I will share this slide deck with the team as once I'm finished, and it will just give you some information on. It's like a little bit of a tutorial, and you can go and look at it after the training. Okay, so I'm not going to go through that right now. I'm going to jump right into Teams, and then we can go from there. Can you guys see my Teams screen?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so I think the first thing that we need to start off with is if you haven't got Teams desktop app, speak to Philip and get it installed on your machine so that you can start running it from the desktop app. It works the best in the desktop app, or from my personal experience, it's the easiest to work in the desktop app.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. I'm good.
Okay.
How are you?
So maybe you must mute your mics.
Too long. I missed you.
Naz, I'm missing you too, but maybe if you just mute your mic. I feel the love, man. I feel it.
We feel it too. We feel it.
Yes, baby. Okay. Okay, in any case, so the first thing we can start off with, if you look on the sidebar, on the side, yeah, this is pretty much where you'll navigate through the different sections of Teams. So the first thing is, if you click on the activity button, you'll see this is the last feeds that you've had or that you were involved in. So any conversations on Teams that you were involved in will be in this feed. Okay, you can also change it to my activity to see what exactly you were involved with. So this is the feed from everybody, and this is the feed for your activity. Okay. Then if we move down to the next one, we'll go to chat. If you look at chat, these are the different chat groups that you were on. So if you were invited to a team meeting, chances are that if somebody wanted to chat on that Teams meeting, it would be in here. So if I go and I click on today's chat, you'll see Jose already put a thing in here. Perfect. I don't know, Jose, perfect for what? But
It was to one of your comments.
okay, all good, not a problem. Anyway, so this is where you'll find your chats. Then, if you've been invited to a specific team, If you click on the Teams button, the Teams will appear on the side here. Now you can see I've got a lot of Teams because I run a lot of initiatives and a lot of things within Teams, but ultimately I am part of a whole lot of teams, or I have created a whole lot of teams, and that assists with collaboration, etc. When we move down, we'll go to your calendar. So this is your calendar. If you go to Outlook, this will look it's exactly the same calendar as what you're using within Outlook. You can schedule a new meeting within in the calendar, or alternatively, you can schedule a meeting in Outlook the way that you normally do. Calls, these are just the phone calls that you've made. So I've got a whole bunch of people on speed dial, etc. You can go and look at your contacts. Okay, you can add some additional contacts on the side here. You can go and look at your history. So these are the calls that I've been involved with in the last couple of days. And then if you've got voicemail, you can set up your voicemail. I've got no voicemail set up. Okay, I try to answer my calls. Just for files, this is where you're going to go and find all your files. So firstly, you'll see all the recent files that you've opened, which were in possibly saved in OneDrive or in SharePoint, or maybe in a Teams environment. Okay, so these are all the files that I've opened in Teams. And then if I go and look at OneDrive, these are my OneDrive folders that I have currently got on my computer, or that I'm connected to. If we move over to the top, this is a search bar. So if you're looking for something, content or anybody in specific, you can just go and search. If I go Fred Oberholzer, you'll see it will bring up my chat history that was with Fred Oberholzer, or I can send him a chat. If I look at my profile, if I click on my profile picture, it will allow me to go and set my availability, my presence, pretty much. Okay, and you can set the status message like Ian the Rockstar. Okay.
Wow.
We'll just leave that one for today. Okay.
Aren't you supposed to be a superhero?
Rockstar superhero, same thing. Okay, guys. So okay, so now we've sort of gone through the site. On the site here, you'll see there on your main app, these are the apps that you can load, and I will get back to that. And then there's a little help file. So if we go and we start off with chats. So let's quickly have a look at your chats. So firstly, if you look at the top here, you'll see there is two options. So firstly, you've got contacts and you've got chats. If I wanted to just chat, I can just click on the chat button. I can say Marjorie, maybe. Am I spelling it incorrectly? How do you spell your name, Marjorie?
Majorie.
J-O.
Your goal is breaking up with you.
There we go. Oh, Yana.
You're forgetting the R.
More. Sorry.
R-I-E.
There we go. So if I want to chat with Marjorie, I can now start chatting to Marjorie. What I could also do, if I don't go through the contacts list, I can go, if I go to contacts here, I can go and add favorites. So I can say, add a contact to this group. So if I wanted to, I can add Marjorie to this group. And then instead of me having to go and type it on the top there, I can just go and look on my favorites, and then I've part of other groups also that I've created. Okay. But when we go through the chat, it's very simple, but pretty much what we need to know is that if we look at the chat, it's not just like WhatsApp. So you could actually go and type a pretty decent message with some basic functionality, that you would pretty much get the same as in Word. You can go and attach a file, and you can either get it from your computer or you can upload it from your OneDrive account. You can add some emojis. You can say, this is a lovely day, and we'll send that one to Marjorie for now so that you can see how we're styling. Then when we finish with that, you can put some stickers. You can schedule a meeting straight from here. So I can go and I can schedule a meeting, okay, which I'm not going to do now. I can say, okay, I want to upload. Are you guys familiar with Stream? Do any of you know what Stream is?
No?
I don't. Nope.
Okay, so when you create a video, or when you create a recording in Microsoft Teams, it actually stores it in Microsoft's own video building application called Stream. So Stream is like YouTube, but for Microsoft. So you can go and create a video in Stream, and then you can just upload it from Stream. But that will be for another session. Okay. Then I can also give praise, and I can say, okay, and we'll give Marjorie some praise because she's an overachiever. I want to preview it. Okay, I'm happy with that, and I'll just send her some praise. So if you want to praise your team, say, hey, well done, you guys are doing well, you can send us some praise. Or additionally, what you could do is you can go and add, by the 3 buttons, you can add applications to this chat. So I've now already added forms. So if you go and look, you'll see I've got a little forms thing here. If I want to go, I can now do a poll. So let me just close that, and let's just go to the chat that we are in now. So if we look at the Microsoft Teams training, I can go and say, rate the training. Good. Awesome. Not so good. Okay. And I can say send. Then everybody on the team can now go and rate it. So you can go and click on, if I go and click on it's good, you'll see, and I submit my vote, the poll will update. Okay, and this is while you're on your Teams meeting. Okay. Any questions with regards to a chat?
Yes, how do you delete it if you no longer want it on your list?
If you don't want the chat on the list, so you go
Yes,
right
yes,
click.
you don't want
or
that. No, no, not that. How do you delete the whole chat? But maybe show that one as well.
Yeah, I don't know how, because I haven't done it before. I'm going to go check now, but can we leave that to the end? Then I will do that, because like Leanne also asked about how do you delete the whole chat.
No,
But I think you could possibly hide it. I know, yeah, you can hide it.
I want to delete
so that
it.
it doesn't display. But I will post it on this Teams meeting. Hey, and I will put it there, okay? Because I haven't
If
done
it's
it.
the last thing you do today, please do that.
Thanks, Rockstar
I will
Ian.
do it. Okay, so I promise I will make a point of doing that. Okay, we can get that done. I promise. Okay. In any case, so then if we finished with the chats, I'm going to go over to the teams. So now I've got a team. Now, when we look at the team, there's multiple things that can happen in a team. So if you were part of a team, you would possibly see the team on the sidebar here. Now, I've got Project Africa 500, I've got Back to the Future, I've got all sorts of different teams. What I want to do in the team is the way that I collaborate with everybody. So if I go and I click on Africa 500 and I click on the general channel, you'll see it will open up my chats within Africa 500. Okay, so every time I've chatted, it's in here, so I can create a new conversation. Or alternatively, I can go all the files that I've put under this specific project 500. Okay. If I wanted to add a wiki, I'm sure you guys are familiar with Wikipedia. It's a similar thing. It's standard. It comes standard in there. Then I've created a link to a document library inside Project Africa 500 SharePoint site, which has got lots of stuff. I'm going to show you guys how to do all of this. Then I've got another link in here to a project plan, because all my projects I've created a project plan. So it's the project plan site is in here. And then I've also got the project planner, which is inside here. Okay. And then what I've done is I've also added a notebook, so that if I make notes within Africa 500, I can have on my tablet or on my phone or wherever, you'll be able to see the different notes for different people. Okay. So these are just all the different links that you add on the top of your chat of your team. So how do we do that? So firstly, let's go and look at files. So how do I upload a file? So the first thing I want to do is I want to say I want to go and create a new folder. Okay, but for the purpose of this, I am not going to do that. I'm going to go back to team. Sorry, I didn't want to actually, I'm going to just create a new team. So I'm going to say create a new team. Sorry, I don't want to create folders on that specific one. So I'm going to call it build a team from scratch. Let's say it's a public team, and I'll say teams training. Okay, I'm going to create it. So for those that don't know, okay, I'll just invite Marjorie, you once again, because you're my chick, I will put this one on there. Okay, so you'll remember. So for those that don't know, every time you create a team site or a team platform or team on here, you're creating a SharePoint site. Okay, a Teams SharePoint site. So if we go and look, if I go look on the bottom here, I'll see Teams training on the bottom. I can move this up to the top if I wanted to the top there. Now Teams is there. If I click on channel, you'll see the general things are there, the posts. So if I want to start a conversation, the files, the wiki, and then there's a plus sign for if you want to add additional links to your team, for your team to be able to go and communicate with others, etc., and have visibility into different things. So if we go and have a look, I will go and say, okay, let's have a look at files. I want to add a new folder, and I'm going to call this folder Teams Documents. And I say create. And now I can go inside that folder. And once I'm inside that folder, I can go and upload files. Or I can create a folder inside or upload a folder. But in this case, I'm going to go and create, just upload another file. Let's quickly have a look at Teams training. I'm busy using it now. So what's this? Let's just put that in there. It's fine. Okay. Okay, so now I've got a file in there. If I go back and I click on general, you'll see it now says Teams documents. Inside Teams document is the file. If I wanted to take this file and I wanted to share it with somebody else, because preferably we don't just share the documents, especially if you're working from home, PowerPoint files, etc. So what you do is you rather just go and say, sorry, you click on the three buttons and you can go and say copy link, open in SharePoint, gives you different options, but ultimately what you'll do is you'll just say copy the link. Okay. And then if you email it to somebody, you can just share it to them. Okay. Anybody happy with that? Or are you okay with that? Okay. If you wanted to, you can download the file. Okay. So here on files, this is where you upload your files, etc. Everybody happy with files? Can I move on? So now I want to add additional links to the top. So I don't want to confuse everybody now, but remember I said every time you create a team, it creates a SharePoint site. So just to show you what it looks like, you'll see it says open in SharePoint. So when you open that, it will actually open up your team SharePoint site. So you can go to home, and then by standard, it will create a news feed. So you can add some links. Your documents will be displayed on your site, as well as your latest activity. Okay, so I'm gonna.
Ian, can
Yeah.
I ask a question with regards to this? So, what would be best to keep the access to the SharePoint, or to access it through Teams, or to create a shortcut on your browser and then access it through the browser?
So I'm gonna. What are you talking about? The SharePoint site itself?
Yes. So just a question: if you've been included in a Teams, let's say project Back to the Future, if there's any information, in your opinion, what would be, or what's the most, or the easiest way to there's a site to go through
Okay,
Teams?
so this is what I'm going to answer that question as I go through now. You'll see, and then you could decide what will be easier for you. Okay, so what I do is, let me just quickly show you. If I look at Back to the Future, you'll see if I click on General, I've got absolutely nothing in here. But if I go and look at the channel for Centurion Office, I've added links to there where the people in the team can go directly to the task planner, to the notes, or the project plan. Okay. I don't know if that answers your question, but in any case, we'll get back to that. So if I look at Teams General and I want to go, let's talk about, I want to now go and add a notes section where people can go and make notes. So I can say, I want to add OneNote, because I work on OneNote all the time. It will just load it. We'll say it's the Teams specific one, and now it will add it to that site. Okay. If I wanted to possibly, just for interest sake, if I wanted to take Centurion's project plan that I've created for Back to the Future. Okay, so I'm just going to click on that. I just want to get the link. I'm just going to show you. So this is what the project plan looks like for Back to the Future. But I can go and open this project plan in SharePoint. So if I click on the little earth ball on the top, it will open it up. Okay, there's a reason why I'm doing this, because I want to show you guys something. So if I click on this link and I say Control-C, I'll copy this link. Okay, and I go back to the Teams training site. Yeah, and I say I want to now add that link in. Yeah, I just go plus, and it's a website, and I'm going to call it Back to the Future Plan. And I will just paste the link there, and I'll say save. So what it will do now, it will now show me inside Teams, without having to go to the actual SharePoint site, an overview of that site. Okay. If I wanted to, I could go and say website, and I can say canon.co.za. Okay, so I can just go and paste the URL in there for any website, save it. And now I've got Canon's website inside my team. Okay. If I wanted to, So I work in two ways. I've got a planner and I've got a project plan. So yeah, I've got a project plan with timelines for everything that needs to be done. Okay, but every task in this timeline works in a task planner. Now you want to maybe allocate tasks to your team members. And if you want to allocate tasks and not have to follow up all the time, you would add a task planner. So what you'll do is you'll go to the plus sign and you'll say, okay, I want to add a planner. Okay. And we're going to call this Teams Training Planner. I hope this is not too much, but okay. And I'm just going to add it. So I'm not going to go into planner now because it's too much work for me to do that. Not too much work, but it's got a lot of content to go. But ultimately here you've now got your planner and you can add different tasks. So you can say, I want to give the task a name. It's test. And I want to add the task. And now that it's added, I can say, okay, it is assigned to Marjorie. And I want to let her go with Ian on a date. I'm just joking, Marjorie. Just chill. Any case, so in progress and the start time and the end time. So what will happen now, as soon as I create this, it would actually send Marjorie a mail to say that there's a task allocated to her. And then a week or 2 days before the end date, the person will get an email from Microsoft Planner reminding them of the task. Okay, I'm deleting that task. Any questions? Okay, everybody's very quiet.
It's going to take a bit of getting used to, I would assume.
Okay, but in any case, so if I don't want this on my plan, on my team link anymore, I can just go and say remove. Okay, but if you have the team here, the first thing that you want to do is you want to possibly add people to your team. So now I'm going to say I'm going to go and manage the team, and I want to say who can do what on the team. So I'm an owner. If I want to add members, I've got Marjorie, and maybe I want to add another member, and I'm going to say Sanette. Okay, Sanette is now part of that team. And I want to say, okay, I trust her to become an owner. So now she can also be an owner of the site. Okay. I think there's some settings here. I can go and add a team picture. So I want to say change the picture. I want to upload a picture. I don't know what pictures I've got. Together we can. Okay, so now that we've got a team picture, I can say member permissions. Here you can go for the members, you can go and add the permissions, etc. You can just change that. Guest permissions, we don't have guests. So teams at Canon SA, you cannot invite somebody that is not in our organization on the team. Okay, just in case you don't know. And you can do some fun stuff, etc. But these are just the settings. Then analytics, you can go and this is just the dashboard to show you how many people are on your team, what the activity is, etc., etc. Okay, and I think this is the apps that you can install on your list on the top. Yeah. Oh, sorry, on the top. Yeah. Okay. Are you guys good with that? Okay, so we've got the team. We can create the team, we can manage it, we can add a member, we can leave the team. You can get the team link, so you can send the team as a link to somebody. Or if you want to add a channel, if I say add channel, I can go and call it test creates another channel within that team. I'll show you now. So there I've got test 2, and in test 2 I can now have files, and I can do the same thing as what I've got under the general team. Okay. Any questions? All good. So on the top you add different apps. So as an example, I'll just take you guys through maybe 1 or 2 that you can see. Back to the Future. I've got a, okay, well, let's just rather use Project 500 because not everybody should see that yet. Okay, so I've got a document library. I've got a task planner, or this is my project plan where for Africa 500. Then I've got Africa 500's task planner, and with each one of these, this is just in my favorites. I can, for each one of these links that I've added in the top here, I can go and open it in the SharePoint site. So if I click, if I'm on here and it shows me the content over here, I can actually click on the earth ball and it will take me to the content, to the site. Now on the site, I've got this is the Planner Hub, Microsoft Planner Hub. I've got favorites, which is my Africa 500 favorites, and in there I've got different initiatives and plans for different people. So all the tasks that were allocated to based on Africa 500 initiative. Okay. Go back there. Then I've also got a notebook that I've added. So that's pretty, you can add whatever you like on here as you feel. So if we go back to chats, I suppose we have to figure out how to remove a chat. So Marjorie, yeah. So I can delete these chats, but I don't know how to delete the rest. So in a nutshell, every time you create a team, you create a SharePoint site. You've got, if you navigate through your team, you can, where's that team now? So in my team, you've got different channels that you can create. You can manage your team, and you can add different files for the rest of the team to go and view. You can also give, copy the link and send the link to somebody to share. Something I wanted to show you guys, which is quite cool that I like, is with Project TARDIS, I had, this is the new warehouse project that we're running. On the new warehouse project, I worked through a project charter with the team. In other words, so I created a PowerPoint deck that the team had to work through, and I actually added it in the team section. So it will actually open up the project charter link within Teams, and people can go and work on it, on the charter within the team. And all I did was I just went once again to the plus sign. I said, okay, I want to add something, a PowerPoint. So if I say PowerPoint, it's going to ask me where's the PowerPoint document that I want to add, and I can just say I want to add it in there. Okay. What that also helps with, if I look at, just as an example, if I look at Centurion, Back to the Future, we are busy doing a model to show how much space is required. And now I can go and look. We're still in the deployment stage. There's no files there. I don't think so. Sorry. Okay, I don't know where the files are now. Don't know what I did here. In any case, your files should be lying. Yeah, let me just quickly have a look at what's going on. If I go there, files. There's the files. So okay, let's just do this again. Sorry, I'm gonna go. So add Excel. I'm gonna go up. Ooh. Oh, it's exploration. I was looking in the wrong place. Sorry. So I can say South Downs rental breakdown. Sorry, I'm going somewhere with this. You'll see now. So here's the spreadsheet that I was working on, and the whole team can actually work on this spreadsheet, and it will tell you on the top here who's busy with it while you're on it. So if I go through the different departments and what they are busy with, I can go and have you so that multiple people can work on the spreadsheet at the same time. Okay. You can also then just go and say open it up in the desktop app, and then you can open it up in your desktop on normal Excel. You wouldn't need to go and save the document, because I often get asked this. You don't have to go and save the document because autosave is on. So every time you make changes, it will save it automatically. So if I go and change this to 15, I shouldn't really do that. Okay, and I go and close it. You see, it will tell you it's busy making the most recent changes. Can you guys remember which slide I was changing there? It's one of these, I suppose. There, 15. Okay. Any questions?
Yeah, not with regards to that, but I see Isaac commented saying that unfortunately Microsoft Teams is built for retention and institutional memory, so the records can't be gotten rid of. So I asked Uncle Google, and he confirmed that you can delete, even if you delete your chat. So I think we need to differentiate between a chat and a conversation. So the conversation would be the entire chat on the left, and the chat is like each message within the conversation. So you can delete the chat, but it's only deleted on the sheet, but not in terms of memory. So if you said something that you weren't supposed to say, or if you delete it, there would still be a record of what you said. Maybe not visible to the other person in the conversation. But yeah, Google confirms that you cannot delete, you can only hide to clean up the left side. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
just to clean out this section over here.
yeah.
So if I go and I say hide, then she won't be there. Okay, get that. Okay, sorry, I don't really use so much of the chats, only when I'm in a meeting like now. I would possibly look at the chat. Majority of the reason why I use Teams is for the SharePoint sites and for that. So of course, if I go and look at Back to the Future, if you go and look at the actual site from there, I mean, you asked earlier, why would you use Teams and why would you use the site? So yeah, on Team, this is a collaboration part of it, which is very limited to what you can actually do. But if I go to the actual SharePoint site, I can add and build a lot of stuff in there. So if I go and look at the Project 500 SharePoint site, I've got a timer, I've got video clips running there, I've got different tiles for different initiatives that I've created, I've got a timeline overview in there, I've got a Power BI model running in there, and all of that stuff you cannot really do just in Teams. You understand? So I can go and have a look at, like, I can do lots of things within on SharePoint, which you cannot really do in the team. Although this is, every time you create a team, it creates the site automatically. You just need to go and edit and build the site. It just gives you a standard site, if that makes sense. Okay. But I think the purpose of this training was just to take everybody through the navigation of teams, understanding that you've got your teams on the side. If you've been allocated to a team, you can manage your team. If you're an owner, you can add links to the top of your team. You can upload documents, retrieve documents, share documents. I just want to quickly see something. Okay, so yeah, so you can just use team as a central point for your teams if you've got a team to work on, or for projects or anything. I run projects on there because it's simple and everybody can have access to it.
Ian, I've got
And
another question. So with teams and creating a team and where it then creates the SharePoint, is that limited to only projects, or can I, for instance, create a team just for my team and we can interact on that and add like things to SharePoint for us to action and maybe save like team minutes and things like that?
yeah, so that, I mean, that's the whole purpose of what I'm doing now, exactly what you're saying. So this team that I've just created, Teams training, I can go and manage this team, and I can say, this team, first of all, sorry, I just want to quickly, I just want to see something. So when you create the team right in the beginning, it asks you if you want to be a private team or a public team. I don't know if you guys can remember that, but in any case, so with that, when you create a team and you say private team, then you just go and you add your members of your team only in there. So only your team will be able to see this because they've been added to this, and all the channels and the things that you create within this team is only visible to your team. That's I think this is why I'm sort of showing this, so that people can see that within your team environment, you can create a collaborative workspace where all the members of your team can work together. Well, I suppose that was sort of the idea in any case.
Great, thanks, Ian.
Okay, so I think that is pretty much my knowledge on Teams. I mean, obviously I know a little bit more now already, but I mean, if you've got questions, you're welcome to personal message me, and I will get back to you. Don't go and delete this chat yet, because the recording, once the recording comes up, it will actually come and lie in the chat. Okay, and then you guys have got the recording already.
Thank you,
And
Ian.
Flight, my story is uit.
We're going to get there. We're going to play around.
Yeah, dankie Ian.
Dankie, Ian.
It's a
Dankie,
pleasure,
Ian.
you guys. You guys must have a great day. Keep well.
Bye.
Bye.
Same.
Bye.
Cheers.
Bye.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just a quick one. On the Back to the Future,
Yeah.
you've sent out 3 invites for
Yes.
sessions 1, 2, and 3. Are they the same sessions at different times, or are they
It's
different?
it's a continuation. We're starting with a project charter, and the project charter will carry over 3 days. I've tried not doing it all in once, because then it's a bit too much. So we start with it, then we carry on the next day, and carry on the next day.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I wanted
Yeah,
to
so there
confirm.
should be 4 meetings that you got. 1 for a kickoff meeting, and then
Mhm.
3 for the charter meeting.
All right, because it just said session 1, 2, and 3, and I was just wondering,
Yeah.
is it the same thing, just over 3 different sessions, or is it four different sessions? If you're trying to get
Yeah,
where I'm going to
it's 3 different sessions, but we're working on the project charter. So we're going to
Okay.
say, this is why we're doing Back to the Future. This is what the goals and objectives of the project is, so that we all have an understanding going to the
Perfect.
business.
Okay. So I'll accept them all then. I just wanted to double check. The other thing I
Cool,
want to double check
honest.
with you, if you
Yeah.
don't mind sharing with me, when you go into your normal calendar, because that's how I set up my Teams meetings for customers and that, okay? And you invite people, but for me to invite people, I have to go and have a look at the top and see if they're available on the calendar. All right. So it's like the schedule. So then once I've done that, and then I see that the people are now available or aren't available, then I need to go back and do the invite. How do I actually do that? Are you understanding what I'm trying to say or not really?
To see if people are available for your meeting.
Yeah, correct. So, and I normally go, and I don't do it through here. I do it through my Outlook calendar first.
Yeah, so yeah, this is Outlook. Can you still see my screen?
Yeah, can see your screen.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
so
you're probably gonna look, yeah.
Yes, and then say now,
Great.
but to go, okay, so if you go one step back, okay, one step back again go to your normal way, right? Now you want to schedule a meeting, right? So now you go to join Teams meeting. So I start a thing to join Teams
So
meeting.
Teams meeting,
Yeah.
And
Then
you're gonna
I say
go.
people required. Okay, but before I do that, I go to scheduling assistant.
That's what I'm
To
also
see-
do. No,
see
there's different
if they're
ways of
available.
doing that to see if they're
Okay.
available. That's how you would do it. I do it differently though. I would
Okay,
go.
because then from here I then get lost, but then I don't know how to go
Oh.
back to where it was to send them the original invite. Am I making sense to you?
Yeah, you are making sense.
Okay.
Can I just
Yes.
I
Show
just
me how
need
you do
to
it.
I'm gonna just stop the recording on this
Sure.
because I'm now recording this.